All right, I'll call the meeting to order at 6:07 PM. Let's do a roll call of everyone. I'll just call everybody's name and you can just say here. Okay. Shelley Glassman,
Here.
Kate Baden,
Here.
Marie Kitchen,
Here.
Jennifer Conrad here. Robin is absent tonight due to illness, and we welcome our non-voting public, Lynn.
Yay, Lynn.
Where's Sully? Where's my buddy, Sully?
He will not come in. I know this is being recorded, but his dad will make him come in shortly. He loves this weather.
He's my pal. He's like the big brother to my dog. Okay. All right. Has everyone had a chance to review the agenda?
Yes.
Okay. All right. All right, does any change, anything to, I mean, I have a couple things that we'll add to talk about later, and that is the Upton Arts Council discussion. I sent an email out. I'd already gone to press with the agenda before I got the email, so we'll talk about that a little later.
Plus I mean.
Okay. All right, can I get a vote to approve the agenda for Tuesday, January 21st, 2025?
I make a motion to approve the agenda for January 21st, 2025.
All right, can I get a second?
I'll second that.
All right, excellent. Okay, all in favor? Just raise your hand. Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, great. Agenda is approved. Okay, meeting minutes from the December 3rd, 2024 meeting, our last meeting. Thank you, Kate.
You're welcome.
Any changes? Anything we've missed? They're very detailed, which is good, so. All right, can I get a vote to approve the meeting minutes?
Motion to approve the meeting minutes.
Second that.
All right, all in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Nope. All right, meeting minutes from December 3rd, 2024 are approved. Okay, the treasurer's report. I will just, so the treasurer's report, thing that we have. So I'll just give you, so all grants are paid for. The last one that went out was the Blackstone Valley Holiday Fair or Winter Fair. So our beginning balance was $253.18. Then we had the United Parish Fair deposit, which was 12,493. Oh, I wish Rob was here because I don't really understand what this means. We had a deposit of $190 from the fair, minus the table fee, left us with $393. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm looking at fiscal year 24. No wonder it didn't make sense to me. So 2025, our beginning balance is $393.18. We had a deposit on 9/24 for Heritage Day of $279. Then we had the holiday bazaar. The table fee was $35. The tea towel expense was $281, left us with $356.18. I added another two more deposits. We had $122 from the church fair. And then I did like a post, about a week before Christmas, and I sold 3 more towels for $36. So our unspent revenue plus our deposits comes to $514.18, but we also have $209.26 in interest awaiting us. So that's where we are as of today. I updated it I made the second deposit today. So
That's right, that total again, the total we have right now, sorry.
$514.18. So that's ours to spend. We haven't received the state grant money yet, but I think as Lynn said, it comes in March. Okay, go ahead, Lynn.
Didn't we, so the interest if we look at what I was confused about, didn't the interest go into the report? And that became part of the 7,100 that you were able to grant.
Well, I think the problem is that the way that that report is done to the state is different than how we do our accounting. And I'm not sure, as we sit here right now, if that interest went into that amount. I think
Okay.
because we had to make sure the grants matched what was, the grants that we granted matched the amount of money that we were given. Remember?
Yeah, I remember that. It's just that double check, because when you're going through the report, the
Mhm.
interest is counted. It's just if you go back to this, just make sure, don't add it into your, I've never added it into our receivables, and it never flows into what our fundraising revenue, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
The same as
We
if-
have it
if-
broken out separately. Yeah, it's broken out separately on the treasurer's report. It's at 20926. It's not
Right.
included in our fundraising revenue, unspent revenue deposits. They're separate.
Okay.
So the 51418 does not include our interest.
Right, but if you retained the interest in the report, then it's part of the pieces. But usually the interest, when you're doing the report, it's actually part of it. So you don't, the interest is part of the mathematical formula when you end up with the 7,100. So I'm just at double check, because the form changed again. Because I don't want, you know what I mean? So it
Which
doesn't,
report are you talking about? The one we just did a few weeks ago?
the
Or,
Smart Simple,
yeah.
the Smart Simple report
Mhm.
gives you the 200 and whatever, the 200 and what, $9 and
20926.
yeah, 209.26.
Oh, okay. I understand what you're saying. Yeah, I'd have to
Okay.
look and see what it says. I'll check. And if there's an
All right,
issue,
I
I'll ask Mass Cultural Council. Because remember, the issue is that it has to match, like it has this grant money awarded and then the grant money that we were given. Remember, it had to be 7,100?
Right, but we account for everything. So you retain at whatever time that the time of the report was written, our funds that we earned, fundraising funds, we keep those over to the side. So that's not added in. But the 209, I think
Mhm.
that was all, the interest was always added in.
Mhm.
So just,
Yeah, okay. I'll
Okay.
check.
all right,
Added into part of the 7,100.
right.
You mean it had to be added into, so 7,100 plus the interest?
71, it makes 7,100 by adding in the interest, what we actually get. Because if you look at past reports, say we got 6,500, we really got 6,100. If you look in the past, so just double check the past financial reports so that everything's clear, right? You know what I mean? Am I
So-
explaining it right?
So if we allocated the 7,100, we've spent the interest.
Right, that's what thank you, Kate, that I
Okay.
wasn't.
So, but isn't the interest not just based upon the state funds? Isn't the interest really our fundraising, like coming off the fundraising funds too?
It's, the interest is made up of what you had from 6/30,
Mhm.
23 to 24, and then, you know what I mean? So it's the interest of that. So then when Kenny gave a fine, whenever he did his, I don't think I have his report.
Mhm.
That gave you the accrued interest for that time frame.
Okay. All right,
Because
well, I'll go back
remember-
and check. Yeah.
we encumber some of the funds. So, you know, say like the Blackstone Valley one, right? There,
Mhm.
the way the year ended, it ended on 6/30, it ended on 6/30, start again 7/1. But when you go to do the report, we're doing it as 10/30 or 10/17 it was supposed to be done. Whatever compound interest that Kenny gave, that's the interest at that time. So that 209 was
Mhm.
interest compounded at that time on the figure, on the money that was in there.
Hmm. Okay. Then I don't know why they tell us that we're awarded $7,100 then.
It's the way the form flows. That's why I just want you to double check it, because they changed the form this year even from last. So
Okay,
just
all
a
right.
suggestion, if I'm understanding it correctly.
So you're saying that the 7,100 that they allocated to us includes the interest of 209, whatever it was,
It's part
per
of the,
month?
yeah, it's part of the formula, because the things that are subtracted are the funds that we're carrying over. So we still had, in October, we still had I think it was $1,500 to pay. So that was set as encumbered funds. We're responsible to pay that. So that was part of that math.
Yeah, I
That
still don't
making
understand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
it is.
I'm very confused about why the 209 is being included in,
Should it just be in the balance?
yeah, it should be what we have left after we've done the 7,100, because that's what they gave us to distribute, right?
Yeah, that's how I understand it. You know, they don't, I mean, then then I can ask them, you know, I can ask Gregory, but that doesn't make any sense to me. It's like, why are they saying 7,100? I mean, it's not even, you're not even taking account of the cents. You know,
Yeah.
you're not saying, well, you get 7,100 minus 209 and 26 or what have
Yeah.
you. Yeah, it doesn't make,
All
it
right,
doesn't make sense to me.
maybe I'm wrong. I'll go look at the report, but
Okay, well, I'll look at it too, because I mean, you know, because I remember we hammered this out a couple of weeks ago, the
Yeah.
four of us, and you know, because it has to balance out, like what we awarded, it has to, you know, we had no choice on the form. You started backing into the number, which again,
Right.
doesn't make any sense to me, but it's that's how that final report was. So, but I'll go back and check and see what we have. Okay. You know, it's confusing.
Yes, doesn't
It's like ass backwards,
It
sorry,
just- and it
excuse
doesn't
my
make sense,
language.
but then we're talking about the government.
Yeah, I know, it's like it's ass backwards, okay. All right, so a
No,
couple
it's-
a couple administrative things. I submitted the annual report to the town for, you know, next year, the town meeting. You know, just, you know, we have a lot of these that have already been done, so I just updated and added, you know, all the various events that we've had and the list of grants that have been awarded this year. I mean, it's almost a little formulaic, but we got that submitted on time. And the other thing we had talked about administratively was the tracking of attendance at events. So I still have to set up, between this and the holidays, it's like catching up. So we all set up a document so we can start tracking our, you know, attendance for things that we put on, but also, you know, things that, you know, maybe the library or elsewhere. You know, we can get a sense of like how many people are coming to various events, good or bad. Okay. On the grants, all the denials and approvals have all been sent out. I got there were no appeals of any denials. We got some nice responses from some of the the applicants, like the Misco PTO is really happy that they're gonna have their prismatic STEM assembly. I heard from Matt York, who's doing the Johnny Cash one. So we had denied him the year before because he didn't have a venue. So this year he did have a venue. And so, he responded on Small Stones Art Festival got back to us. I mean, we only donated like $261, which is a little bit more than what we asked. And we donated the extra, you know, whatever it was, extra $15, $16 or whatever it was. So their festival is starting this weekend. So it runs from January 25th to February 2nd. So if you, I think you posted something.
I do.
Yeah, so Shelley posted something on the Upton Cultural Council page, so bump it up, share it if you can. Bump it up. And I actually reached out to Tanya at the senior center because they had gone before and really enjoyed it. And she said they already have a bus that's going.
Perfect.
So they really enjoyed it last time, and they're gonna have a lot more people this time. So it runs over 2 weekends. So if I can, I'm gonna try to run over. It's over in Grafton. So, it's just down the road, so we can check it out. So yay. All right. So,
And I found
yeah,
their,
go ahead.
I found their website,
yeah.
so I put that as part
Oh,
of
yeah,
their,
put it in.
yeah, so
Oh,
because it
good.
had all the information about it.
Yeah.
So I linked it on the.
Oh,
Facebook
perfect.
page.
Yeah. So, if you think about it, like just reshare it, bump it up and,
And
if you
the
can.
food museum's coming.
The food
February.
museum, oh, I think I wrote that one.
We're registered, I'll allow you.
You've already reached
Yeah, my kids were like, yes,
Oh,
yes,
well,
yes.
already, I think, some people were posting already in response to that, and like, people are very excited about poop. So-
My husband was asking where.
I shared it.
Like, but it says ages 5 through 12. I don't think you fit in that.
Yeah. I just want to go and observe, What date is that again? That's coming up,
February
right?
19th.
Yeah,
Okay,
it's like
oh,
the Wednesday of February break.
Yes.
oh, geez, it's gonna be,
Mobbed,
It's gonna
except
be
you have to
mobbed.
register. You have to
You
register.
have to register,
That's
okay.
correct, we have to register.
Okay,
Yeah.
so yes.
And there's
constraints,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's business
There's
trip.
one of those scan codes,
Oh,
a
okay.
QR code that's right in the
Oh, yeah, I saw it.
image that she sent.
Mhm.
So it took me a while to figure out how to get it onto my computer so that I could then get it back into, yes, but I did.
It's like
I got help from my husband.
wizards here.
No, I had to ask my husband. I can't do that.
Oh, yeah,
It's not
that'll be very well attended. So it's February 28th, and when, she was little and we had parties like at Pump It Up or whatever, we got like 100% attendance because it was at the tail end of February break.
No.
February, so parents are like, oh my God,
Yeah,
I have somewhere to send my kid to for a few hours.
exactly.
Bouncing off the walls. Okay, so great. So our events are moving along. Okay, let's just like do a little recap of the church fair and get people's thoughts on that. So we had sales of $122. So it amounted to 6 towels, 8 coasters, and we sold off the last glass. So to me, I'm like, given the $35 table fee and, a raffle prize that amounted to $34, I'm not sure that parish fair is worth it. We were
walking away with like $50.
yeah, we're walking away with $50. I think the issue though, because I when we had it I don't know about last year's because I wasn't there, but the 2 years ago, I thought I just remember we sold a lot more. We were selling glasses and coasters at the time. It just seemed like we sold a lot more. But I think the issue is the location of our table. And Robin's not here, but I already told Robin because she said like the church wants to get feedback because we were in that entrance. Remember, Marie? We were in that entrance where people walked right in, and there were, probably like 6 vendors in there too. But a lot of people walk in and they're like, "Oh, I'll come back, and I just want to check everything out," and then you never see them again. So I think being in the main hall would have been, a lot more lucrative. I didn't get the impression that all the vendors around us sold a lot either.
No, I don't think so. I think I bought it.
Yeah, you bought
I'm
the
the reason why
stuff
they
from the wood carving guy, which is really cool, by the way.
In my
But
socks, wearing my llama sock, but yeah.
yeah, I
It didn't
don't
seem like
know
there
if
was
like
a lot of cultural kind of people or event kind of people, and it was more of people who seemed to be looking for. They arrived to go to a craft sale and buy pies and the crafty thing du jour.
yeah,
It was nice.
I
I did
agree.
talk to some people, and it was
Yeah.
that was good, but yeah, it didn't seem like a super good fit. People kind of had that look like.
Yeah,
like
and like I
that.
said, I think, when you go, if we were in the main hall around with the people selling candles and all that stuff, I think, right, it was a lot busier in there. Plus, like, you know, where we were, it was like cold because you walked in and it's like that's where the entrance was. But the way it's set up is like you go in that way and essentially the exit is on the other side of the church. They kind of have the traffic flow directed out in the back. So I feel like that's the thing. If it were like a circular thing where you came in and out the same
Yeah.
way, yeah, I think it would have been better, but I'm not sure it's worth like our output is worth the input, because not only do we have to pay for it, unlike Heritage Day, but we also have to contribute a basket
Yeah.
of items. Again, at Heritage Day, we don't have to do that. So I don't know, maybe we try the other fair, the other church fair next year and see
Well,
what happens.
yeah.
That's a possibility too.
Which church fair is that?
The St. Gabriel's.
Oh, St. Gabriel's, okay.
Yeah, up the road, but I don't know, those are kind of my thoughts. Like, I didn't mind doing it, and it was fun to hang out with Marie all day, and we saw a lot of people.
Here.
It's very social. It's like Heritage Day. You feel like you're the mayor, and you see all these people you know. And we had a chance to kind of talk up, the cultural council, but in terms of just financially, I feel like it's more of a drain than anything else, but.
And it's hard to meter the results as far as if you talk to somebody and they didn't know that there were events in the town, you don't know if that person you talk to or that family you talk to is actually going to show up. There's no way to track whether there's effective, because if the marketing was effective, that's good, but we have no way to track it.
Yeah.
So I agree.
So-
Put our
So those are just kind of my thoughts, just thinking about
I
next
agree.
year, I had a couple of people ask about the glasses. I don't know if maybe we add those but we have to sell, we still have towels left. But I did have a little success. Like I said, I even texted Megan, I'm like, do I really want to do this? And like put a post on, our local Mendon Upton moms and dads. But I got, I had like 4 people respond. One lady just sort of disappeared, but several other people bought towels, including a woman who's fairly new to Upton and lives up like the William Street area. And she was like really interested in cultural council. So she's, I don't know, maybe we'll see her, but I had a nice chat with her when she came to pick up the towels. So I sold with very little effort, I sold, 3 a few days before Christmas. So, that's like, something we can think about too. But speaking of pint glasses, I was in the Grafton Country store right before Christmas, and they have Upton pint glasses, and they sell them for $16 each.
Wow.
And we sold them for 10. So,
is there some way that we can get our towels in there and kind of drum up cultural council? Is there anything
Yeah,
against?
I don't know if they would. I don't know. I mean, my guess is they buy them from someone like, I can ask them next time I go in there, because I'm in that building fairly regularly.
You can put a scan code on it, and when they ring it up, they can scan your Venmo, and you can get paid without having to run around after it and keep track of it like that. And maybe that's a better way to reach out to the public and sell our towels.
Yeah, I don't know if they, be into it just because they run in a business there, but it's, I could just mention it to them and
But
chat
it's
with
for
them.
the community, so I mean.
Yeah, for Upton. So, and then I thought we all, one thing we haven't really done over the years is like track our sales and inventory. And we should, I can just set up a document, which we, have X number, just so we've always had kind of an idea because we sold them all off. But just so, if anybody's curious, they can see what our current inventory and purchase and sales. So I can set up a document for that. Just formalize it a little bit. Okay, so let's see. So a couple potential programming things. I got an email from this place called this group called the 1T Family Band. I think it was the Partridge Family. So let me just look it up and see if I have it.
I'm gonna think of Come On Get Happy all night now.
Okay, so yes, I got it. It came through the Cultural Council email, so you guys might have seen it. It's a dynamic, multi-generational family band based in Central Mass. High energy, friendly family performances of music. They played it, last year they played at the Roger Williams Zoo, golf clubs and other things. So to me, it seemed like it's more of like they need to probably book, again, they really need a venue. So if they do all these bookings already, it doesn't seem to me that they could just reach out to any town organization and see if they wanted to book something. So
they have a venue right now.
no, it's just like, to me, it was just like a distribution email.
Okay.
It was not specific to us. So it's just kind of like a local band. But again, I'm not gonna book it for them. So, and so you'd think they kind of probably, maybe they know that, but I've never heard of them. So maybe they probably have never applied, at least not in recent years. So I could just respond to them and say, look, think about like reaching out to the town, town venues and doing it that way. But because you guys all probably got the email, I wanted to just touch base on it.
So, I think how we do look for venue, maybe think about applying for a grant next year if they're interested
Yeah.
in that. Yeah.
Yeah, they could apply. I'm like kind of loath for us to put on like to do the musical performance, because it just requires so much on our part, like
Yeah.
finding, having the setup, and then if you do it at a school, you have to get permission at the school and they have like a fee. And so I don't know if it's just really like kind of worth our, our time. We've got plenty of other things that are going on. They can just, go through the application process. So, one thing, everyone's so sick. One thing I happened to see in, I think is the Mendon Upton Moms and Dads Facebook page, was the Mendon Historical Society was going to be having like a program with an Indigenous person. And I saw it because I think their original person had canceled, and then they were looking for someone else to replace them. So I was thinking, I can just reach out to the Mendon Historical Society and see who, if they were successful, and maybe if they haven't done anything yet, that could be something we might want to partner with them in some way, cross towns and or their cultural council. So I forget what her name was. Let's see. I think I found it it was on the Facebook page. But it's the Mendon Historical Society. It wasn't the Cultural Council. So I could just ask her and see, what, if they had success, if they got somebody, and if so, how was it? And if not, maybe they might be interested in doing something with us, because we've been kind of kicking that idea around, quite a bit.
Does Mendon have a cultural council?
Yeah,
They do.
they do. Mhm. So thoughts, if we just could kind of I'll just reach out to them.
That would be a cool thing, if we did an Indigenous program, it'd be a cool thing to do with Mendon.
Yeah, and I think we get more people,
Joint town thing.
like Historical Society, or even like loop in the Upton Historical Society too.
Yeah.
And do some kind of like, between the two towns.
That's
Like basically. Yeah, so like I'll reach out to her, and I forget what her name was, but she was running the Mendon Historical Society. And Lynn, do you ever hear anything from the Upton Historical Society and stuff they might want to put on?
Only in the fact that like the email you got with Craig with what they want to do with Holy Angels.
Yeah.
And I haven't gotten anything for a program or seen one for Upton Historical, but Craig Weinfest, who is the chair of the Upton Historical Commission, is also on the Historical Society. So if that helps, and I can send you his email if you want to inquire about anything.
Yep. Yeah. Because I think like partnering with other groups might drive more attendance, especially if it's around on both towns, I think, as well. I mean, I like the fact that the Mendon Historical Society has already been working on something like this. And so, all right, I know we've been kind of like kicking that idea around, but it's
Yeah.
it's any other ideas on, we have, right now we have like, what, $500? Potentially more, but, Marie, who were you talking to, in the state forestry or?
Yeah, they're pretty excited. They've got their own budget, so the forest is free. I don't know if they bill for their time, but do you want me to get more information
Yeah.
on behalf of our group and see if we could plan something together? I can't imagine it would be very expensive, but if you think it's something when it's not -2 out.
Yeah. Yeah.
Who does
Yeah,
want
they
that?
seem pretty
Right.
excited.
That's a good strategy.
Spring.
Remind me, who is it again? The organization?
I reach out to the Worcester County Conservation District, and they've got a couple of foresters that will give a trail talk, and our Upton Forest is a DCR, so it
Mhm.
fits very smoothly in with what we have here, and our people want to walk. On January 4th, it was a little warmer than today. We went on a walk with the Sudbury Valley trustees,
Hmm.
and
What part of that?
the walk was sold out, even though it was 20 degrees. They had a
Wow.
wait list for the number of people for that walk, and like I said, it was 20 degrees. So
Wow.
it seems to be super popular with people in the area, which I love it.
Oh.
But yeah, so I'll reach out to her and see how much it'll cost us, or if it's something we can just coordinate.
Like with the Friends of the Upton State Forest, maybe too.
Yeah.
Were you gonna say,
So-
Lynn?
If you reach out to, there's two people, so Bill Taylor does walks, and through the Upton State Forest. He's part of DCR, with the Friends, the Upton Forest, and also what they've done is, Maria Recreation has done, like advertised for them and done something, a program. So I'm when you're talking about like bringing some of the other town organizations in, it would be a great thing to have like
Yeah.
recreation at like advertise, you know what I mean? And
Yeah.
bringing in the Friends of the Forest too. I don't know what forest you're gonna, where you walk, you were thinking of whether it be which part of the Upton State Forest, but
Yeah, they centered in on that because it's part of their purview, if you will.
yeah,
And they have their own grant funds. It's regional, so it's Worcester County. So they may
Yeah.
get funds from the state but it comes from someplace other than cultural council. So,
right, but
but that's cool. Yeah, it'll give us more people to draw from if more groups that we involve.
and
Yeah. It's always good to say, presented by Cultural Council, Friends of the Upton State Forest, and whatever the other one was,
Recreation.
Sudbury Valley or DCR, it's always good to have a whole bunch of
Okay.
partners in it, presenting.
Sure. And it fits in with the humanities, and because and a lot of times like the Blackstone Heritage Corridor, DCR, cultural, all like coming together, advertising each other's. Sometimes there's discounts on that, so maybe it's a nominal fee that we helped with something that they
Okay.
do this for us. But I'm sure you're gonna find out more information. But I just thought
Okay.
I'd throw that out there.
And Marie, what did they do? Like, what do they do on the walks? They point out things, or what kind of?
Well, SVT, the particular walk that we went on is called Winter Tree Identification. So I can reach out to my person is Jennifer and see what kind of subjects they have, and
Mhm.
if there's something like a spring walk. Like I said, I'm in favor of a little warmer weather,
Yeah.
to be real super honest.
Yeah, and then
that
before
was-
summer when it gets buggy.
Yeah.
I
No, but
agree.
yeah,
they
no,
have,
that would be cool. Like I think people really like things when we do these walks and it's pointing out things that are kind of right under our noses, but we don't really know that all this stuff is there. Like Rachel Goklowski with the foraging. Literally around the parking lot were like 20 different things that were edible that you could eat when there's a zombie apocalypse. But so I think people really like that, or like seeing, oh, here's like tracks of an animal, and
Yeah.
I think people enjoy that. I know I do, but
I
think
know, I
especially
love it
people
too.
with kids.
I learned a lot. I really did.
Yeah,
He showed up and he had these little monocles and we were looking at branches and stuff, and yeah, we just went to nerd heaven. So
yeah.
That's great. I wish I could explain more to my kids when we do like a nature walk in the forest. I wish I
Yeah.
had more information other than
Yeah.
that's an oak tree, or
Yeah,
whatever.
no, you're like, I know the basics.
I like the basics. I can cover the
yeah,
basics,
why it's an oak tree and it's important because and the shrubbery.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he went into some of the history. The fellow was really super high energy. But yeah.
Okay, that'd be,
He
yeah,
offered
I think
some
get
of
a little
the-
some
Yeah, look at
some
this
info.
tree and it's here because So anyways, yeah. I
Mhm.
imagine they
No,
do
that sounds
bugs and
great.
everything, too. So yeah, I'll jam on that.
Yeah, Lynn, you don't think we're stepping on the toes of the Upton State Forest, do you?
No, they run it. They're part of it. It's the DCI.
Yeah.
But I'm sorry. What is your opinion?
No, I would think they would want it too. They've done different things for the years. Ellen Arnold, Bill Taylor, they're all been for many years part of the Upton State Forest, and they very informative. They've restored the building there and all that. I would just and reach out to them and say, and I think that way too, you get more people involved.
Yeah.
And
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Yep.
And
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, I forget what I was gonna say. About the forest. Oh, yeah, because my husband Brian, he's done, I think it's with the Sudbury Valley, one of these groups, but they've gone out and they've been clearing new trails through some of the land that's been added to Upton that we purchased. I think it's Mechanic Street is one area. So they're they're slowly clearing or maintaining some of the trails that have gotten overgrown. But, and they've made a lot of progress too. So I definitely think there's like an interest level there.
I
Okay.
think Upton belongs to, I think, so if you reach out, like conservation, I've followed some of their, a bunch of their stuff, and we belong to the Metacomic Trust, and I believe the Sudbury Trust as well.
Yeah, that's SVT. That's the one that clears the
Yeah.
trails around here and whatnot and helped us. My cat's got it sneezy too.
Yeah, and a lot of volunteers like
That's
Dan's
sneezing.
husband, yeah.
That's awesome.
There's a singing. What's that thing like that? Singing household.
What did I say?
The kitty, we're just laughing at the cat.
Poor little thing, I know
Oh.
she's sneezing.
So cute.
We're a mess around here.
Yeah, actually, so I think that's a good, since we have time before the spring, good thing to try to shoot for and see if we
Okay.
can put together, something with other groups and after this winter's been really cold, I think people are gonna be excited to get outside.
Yeah.
Yeah, it has.
Lynn, if you
It
could
has,
send
I
me
know. I
videos,
mean, right now it's
shoot 'em
definitely
over
like,
to me. Because
Not a lot
I
of
just don't want
snow,
to
but,
step on any toes and yeah, shoot some names over. I'll go talk to people.
yeah, that'd be great. So, okay, so Marie's gonna look into that and I'll talk to the Mendon Historical Society. So on the same kind of programming note, I had emailed everybody the email that I had received because I think it's Lori Woden. I think I talked to her
Yes.
yes, I think I talked to her
We
at,
talked to our knitting group.
yeah, oh yes, she was just chatting with me at church fair. I think it was her. And, she's telling me about how there's a group in town, a bunch of people that want to try to take the Holy Angels Church, which is now owned, decommissioned church, which is now owned by the town. They want to turn it into like an art center of some kind, which I think is a fabulous idea.
Mhm.
It's not only is that building just kind of sitting there because it can't really be developed into a lot of things due to the lack of parking and so forth. And there's going to be a meeting on Saturday. I actually can't go, but there's a meeting on Saturday. I sent everybody the email. What's up?
Oh, I'm sorry. We're gonna go.
See.
Our household, minus the cat.
But I mean, I think it's just going to be the first of, multiple meetings that they're going to be having. So it's an informal meet and greet on Saturday from 2 to 3 in the great room at the Upton Community Center. So if anybody is around, they can just go for a little bit. Like, unfortunately, I'm going to be out of town on that day. So this is kind of the, initial, and I think Alice was on this email too, Alice Gentili, which would be great.
Mhm.
And, to preserve it, to take the church and turn it into a cultural and arts center, which I think is a fabulous idea to have, a place dedicated to something like that. But, it's obviously it's a project and they're going to need a lot of, work and assistance. And what are people's thoughts on that? Like, it would be great, if we can do something, obviously just as citizens, but also as members of the cultural council,
Oh my
it'd
gosh.
be something to be cool to get
Can
on
I
board
give
with.
you some information?
Sure.
So I've talked to them a couple of times when they started this, but they
Yep.
attended a couple of Board of Selectmen's meetings that I was there, and I had
Yep.
suggested that,
Mhm.
so we have a historical district, which
Yeah.
encompasses that part of the town. You can
Mhm.
also have a cultural district, and that was my suggestion with a
Yeah.
cultural district. Then they would be available for the Cultural Facilities Fund, all of that.
The
because
state, you mean? Yeah, the state funds. Yeah.
The
Yeah.
under the Mass Cultural Council, there's a Cultural Facilities Funds, and the town manager was, he even looked up, what I was saying was that if you're designated a cultural district like Needham, Newton, they have cultural districts, and that's where you see like storefronts are decorated all along that area, and there's area of cultural contributions. So there's funding available there because they went out an RFP or an RFQ. What could you do with that building? And so this group they've come up with a bunch of ideas, and integrated with that is going to have to be the repairs that are needed for the
Mhm.
building.
Mhm.
So the meeting should be pretty informative. I've been to a couple of them, what they're trying to do, and they're still presenting before the selectmen and economic development and that to try and, how do you raise funds? There's that building hasn't been used in so long, so they've got but a great idea to make it, a performing
Mhm.
arts utilized area. So just want to
Class,
fill you in on that.
display art.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I mean, the library is good too, but that's not its focus. So I think it's a really good idea because, we've all been like, what are we going to do with this building that town owns now?
Right.
That is, probably like kind of functionally obsolete. I think, it probably needs a lot of repairs. There's no parking, all that kind of stuff. But if, like you said, Lynn, if you can tap into state funding
Yeah.
so my hometown, Westfield, just got a designated cultural district in downtown
Awesome.
West. So, and I actually know like someone who's who I went to high school with, who's on the town or the city's on city council. So I can always ask her like, what they did. Westfield's a lot bigger. It's like 40,000 people compared to Upton, so, but I can certainly, see if we can get a little more information on that. Because we can point, it's one thing we can point people to it, but we might have to get involved in helping, apply or whatever it needs to be done with regard to the Mass Cultural Council and those funds.
Cool.
Your contact is gonna be Lisa Simmons.
Yep. Yep.
In
Yeah.
the financial, then there, and
finances.
how you, and I did give Joe Layton, the
Mhm.
information because the town actually has to apply to be the cultural district. So and it's all positive is what, it's all positive, what could be where they're trying to revitalize the downtown. Yes, there's quite a few renovations that have to be done, but if they're marrying this all together, I mean, you can get a historical grant because it's a historical building in a historic designation. So
Like they did for the town hall.
Excuse me?
Like with town hall, some of that was state money.
So yeah, there was federal and state money. This has got a a state historic. So just like what they did with the Grange recently. Things like that. So some parts of that. So I mean, there's possibilities, great possibilities. So it's all good.
Yeah.
So Lisa Simmons would be the contact in town if you want to talk. No, so who is?
MCC. She's our
Okay.
one of the people at the Mass Cultural Council.
And so it should be the contact for.
Probably for funding questions about the funding.
Kate, she's the finance director at Mass Cultural Council.
Thank you. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, it's, obviously it's a little, early stage, but,
Sure, yeah.
there's a lot of people here who, a lot of people on this list of, who are interested. And we've all been kind of talking about that for a while, like, how do you, have like a arts fair or, like a place to do a lot of these things. And if it was possible to, have a place where you could have performances and things like that. Aside from the library or in, town hall. I don't know. I don't think I've ever been in that building, so I don't know.
I've been in there.
It's not huge, so it's, and again, it might be in a state of disrepair, but it's good. This is a good place to start. So if anybody, is available and can go, it's just an hour-long meeting, and
You said from 2 to 3?
2 to 3 at the community center in the great room, Saturday. And yeah, so, go ahead, Keith.
No, I was gonna say, if none of us can, so I have family stuff this weekend, I'd love to go.
Yeah.
But,
I'm gonna go.
shall one of us, and I don't mind to be that person, reach out to Matt to say
Mhm.
the Coptic Council is interested with.
I did.
Okay.
I
Let's be
responded, I
contact-
responded to,
Okay.
I'm sorry, I should have been more clear. I responded to that email and said, I'm sorry, I can't go, but, we're circulating it, but please keep me and anyone else
We're going.
involved. Yeah.
Yeah, because it was like.
Unless we get the bubonic plague again.
Was that Marie?
Oh, we're going
There's-
unless we get the bubonic
Let's
plague
go.
again.
Yeah, so just, it's like this informational meeting. And, if someone can go and, kind of, just send us on email and report back. But I had told Lori or whoever it was I spoke to at the church fair that, I was interested as both a citizen, but also as chair of cultural council. And I also told Matt Fear, who sent out this email, that as well. So, I mean, it might be a great thing for us to be able to, be involved as a council to try to get something off the ground.
Well, it's definitely a venue for some of these people that want to have a cultural council event, but not quite sure, it's a great place to point them.
Yeah. Yeah. So.
Matt they have a website all about this. So maybe when Kate reaches out to Matt and see if, ask if Matt can give further information, that way we can help with like circulate around, but we can understand what they're trying to do as well. Like you get more information on is what I'm trying to get out.
Oh, yeah.
Do you want me to do that, Jen? Do you want me to reach out to him? and ask for-
Yeah, thanks. Sure. He's the theater director at Nipmuc.
Oh, okay.
That's what it says here.
Kind of curious how many other people support it too.
Yeah, list, the list was pretty long. It was,
Nice.
not like, yeah, I didn't know who all of them they were. They're like a good number of people, but, oh yeah, here it is.
Mhm.
Let's see. So, yeah, so it's like early stages, but, I think it's a great idea to take a building that's just sitting there slowly.
Mhm.
It's integrating probably, and turn it into something, so.
Well, the woman who came to the knitting group last Tuesday, was that Lori, did you
Yes,
say?
yes,
Yeah.
it was.
She said that it was in fairly decent shape when she was talking to us. What that means
Yeah.
is a whole other question.
It's
But
true.
that's what she said.
It's true.
If anybody would like the structural report, I'll be happy to send it to you.
Oh, okay.
Give
Yeah,
me the
before I step
synopsis.
foot.
Well, because we did use it as a town hall while the town hall was being renovated, but that was a while ago now, so.
The basic,
What's the scoop?
well, asbestos, and they're trying to work that out because of, when they were recently, we awarded funds at town meeting, like the annual town meeting before to paint the building. And the reason why it hasn't been painted yet, because they ran into asbestos at the outside. So there's asbestos. There's some structural things that have to be shored up. Oh, we're looking at a good amount of money. The ramp is neat for accessibilities. The ramp is not right, so that would need to be corrected, and that's your only like real place of accessible entrance where you could put it because of that parking lot down there. But I don't know, I just glanced at it yesterday briefly. I almost sent it out to you guys just to get an idea, because this group is going to be looking to raise funds as well to repair the building, and they're talking to the selectmen and so forth, and so it's going to be significant because unfortunately all the the heating and the plumbing was taken out of the building, so it's going to need some work. So yeah, that's my brief summary. I don't want to say anything too negative though.
Yeah, well, I don't think any of us have any illusions about what kind of shape it's in.
Yeah.
That's for
Well, we
sure.
bought it in 2015 and we haven't done anything with
Okay.
it, I mean, it's sad, but that's, and then have to work around the parking issue. I mean,
Mhm.
years ago, when somebody else had purchased it, it would have been a parking garage, out
Mhm.
back to attach to the building, which is workable because there's very little land with it.
Yeah.
The person that owns the arcade, what we call it, owns the land. So, this, but still, somehow other towns make these workable. So we could, something could be done. It didn't take a bunch of work, but possibilities.
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah. Good. All right. So if anyone goes, just send us an email and let us know. We'll, bring it to the next meeting, obviously, but if, it'd be interesting to see what, what's reviewed and then kind of, what the kind of the plan is. I think it's a great idea. All right. All right. Anything else? Programming thoughts, anybody? Yeah, we got a couple of things that we're gonna work on or look at. Any public comment? I just realized that Megan didn't come. Said she had to drive her son around for something, so. New business, so we kind of went through the new business. Next meeting date, I was thinking February 18th.
I will not be
You
here.
won't be here, okay.
But that doesn't mean you can't have the meeting. I just can't.
Can you
I'll be
dial
home
in?
every month.
Oh, you
We'll
will.
miss you. Can you dial in?
I'm gonna be probably in the air. I'm going, that's the day I'm leaving to go to Phoenix.
Oh, nice.
So,
No.
yeah, both my sisters live there, so.
Nice.
So they,
Is that school vacation week?
yes.
Oh, yeah, it
Is
is.
that bad for you?
No, not necessarily. I'm trying to think. We have
Or do we want to go
I
into the next
no,
meeting?
I could do it. I could do it. My son has signed up, or I signed my son up to agree to a dog at 5 o'clock, but I'll be late for.
To a dog.
Aw.
Program. They've got like a service dog or emotional support dog or something like that coming in. And they've invited early readers to come in to read to the dog if they want to practice their reading, which my son is first grader and doing. So I asked him if he wanted to go to the library and read to a dog, and he was very excited about the idea. But that's it was at 5:15. So I could be-
Oh, my God. That's so cute.
yeah, it'll be very good.
Nice.
And I don't know, just pictures of him reading this little.
Picture.
Yes.
Oh,
So
that's
he's,
amazing.
he's in the Spanish immersion program, so we're trying to practice our reading English a lot at home. He's not doing virtually anything in English at school, but it's going well.
Mhm.
And
That's
but this is like a little thing to get him excited about.
Mhm.
He's like, "Oh, can I bring my Bob books?" And I'm like, "Yeah, you can bring your Bob books."
Oh.
And he has, and so,
Oh, that's awesome.
but that's not a conflict. So I could be here. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, is that-
I could be here.
Is that okay with everyone, or do we need to go to the next following week?
I'm good.
The 18th, go with the 18th, okay, I know I have the following week is like the night before I'm going up to Quebec, so,
Oh, nice.
that might be tougher. Okay, so
Hey,
we'll go with the
there's our
18th.
Megan. I
What's
see our
up?
Megan. I see
Oh.
Megan coming.
Oh, there she is.
It's our Megan.
Well, look who's
I know.
That
You're
even
wrapping up.
Wow, all right then.
All right, and then everyone,
It's gonna last much longer either.
is 6 PM good for everyone? Does everyone
I love
prefer that?
this
I prefer it too.
Yeah.
Yeah, this
Yep.
is nice.
Yeah, because I kind of go straight from like work mode right to here, so that's good.
Yeah.
That's good. Okay, we'll do 6 PM and we can do the same thing, like, people want to, it's like, it's nice to see everyone in person, but if somebody wants to come in by Zoom, that's fine too,
Okay.
Yeah. Whatever, okay.
And if
Megan,
other
I'll fill
people
you
don't wanna
in.
be infected.
Anything else? Anything else? All right, can I get a vote to adjourn?
I'll take a motion to adjourn.
All right,
I
can I get a
second.
second?
I second.
Marie?
So, all right.
All right, all in favor?
I-
All right.